Hey guys, welcome back to Aussie and the Pro. And a lot's been going on, and we haven't been too active because of the current pandemic.
It's
And
been a minute.
Yeah, there's not really too much.
It's been a while.
It's been pretty dead as far as MMA, the MMA world, and just combat news and sports news in general.
Yeah, man, they teased us. We thought we were getting a fight,
Yeah.
way back when, April 19th, and that fell through like many people predicted. So, big fights this weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this. Unfortunately, it's not the one I wanted to see originally, which was Khabib and Tony. You know, the long-awaited
That fight's
match.
cursed, man. That fight caused coronavirus.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. As soon as they booked that fight, it was like
I
Corona
swear.
started popping off. But yeah. Speaking of other things, though, we do have a fight this weekend, and Tony Ferguson is in the main event, and we got a just as game opponent in Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, man. That's scary because Tony's the type of guy that gets caught every fight. Every fight
Yeah.
he gets clipped, he gets hit. You know what I mean? He takes a lot of damage. I don't know how this guy recovers. He's like a zombie. He seems to turn it up in the later rounds always. Obviously, we know he's a cardio phenom, but I think Gaethje's got that type of power that you don't get up
Yeah.
from, right? Like, I think this really could be, and if we're getting to predictions early, we can talk a little bit more about this fight. But I got Gaethje in this one. I think if Gaethje catches him in the first 8 minutes of the fight, it's over.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
For sure. I think I actually have watched more of Ferguson's run up to the belt and his last his win streak coming up to this. I watched that recently, and I believe that he's super resilient, but I just feel like Gaethje isn't the kind of person who gives into that style. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the guy who's I don't think Gaethje's the guy who's like, when he rocks you, he lets off the gas. If anything, he kind of pushes forward and he finishes the job.
Costa type guy, right?
Yeah,
Like, just comes
100%.
forward with it, yeah.
Because I feel like anytime he's been dropped in the past, the guys have kind of let off the gas or gassed out. You know what I mean? Like Pettis, Abel Trujillo rocked him. It was just mainly anyone who's rocked him.
Brando Veneno.
Yeah, exactly. And all of their downfalls in every one of those matches was cardio, or in Pettis' case, it was like injury or cardio, kind of both.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you want to call it. It was kind of like, it was definitely like more of like a will to win type of thing. And I feel like Justin Gaethje's the fighter who never really loses that will to win.
Bro,
You know?
the thing about Justin Gaethje too is that Justin Gaethje got a whole lot better. He used to be a little bit more wild.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 fights back.
More reckless, when he first got into the UFC.
And he's still kind of like a little bit reckless, but it's kind of like a
more controlled.
Yeah, more controlled violence. Like more controlled pressure. So I like that new style of his. And I mean, the last loss he had was to Poirier, Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
He got outpointed, right?
I feel like he
got stopped.
He got stopped in both his losses in the UFC.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is, the fight that showed the biggest improvement with Gaethje was when he fought Cerrone, was because he didn't engage in that up close war. He was picking more shots, and he was making it more of a brawl, but at the same time still waiting for his opportunity.
Yeah. No, I like. Obviously, Tony's slippery. Like, he's just a...
I'm not counting him out.
Oh, yeah, no, neither am I. Neither am I.
Because Gaethje's losses in the UFC have also been because more of cardio issues. Like, it's been more kind of like he's gassed out in the later rounds of a fight, and this being a 5-round fight, that there's potential for that to happen, you know?
If he doesn't make it out of the second round, he loses the fight.
Yeah, I honestly believe that too, because the power, the explosiveness, obviously, when you got a guy like Ferguson wearing down on you, and you got a guy like Ferguson who's been in camp for who knows how long at this point, having a fight booked, and maybe when they got booked the first time last month, I would have given Ferguson a lot bigger of an
100%,
edge.
100%.
But now that they have this rebooked a month later and he's had an opportunity to train, I'm gonna give the slight edge to Justin Gaethje by TKO.
He wants it more, man.
Yeah.
I feel like he wants it way more. Like, Tony's obsessed too, and man, like, this is close. It's not one of those.
I think it's more just like a style matchup, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as like
Do you think? Let me ask you a question.
Who's gonna win?
Do you think Tony Ferguson's gonna catch him in one of those scrambles on the ground? Like, I don't think the fight's gonna go like that.
See, that's what I think. I think that if it goes Tony's way, it will be something like that later in the fight, like a third, fourth, fifth round type thing, where it's like, because Ferguson's the type of guy where it's like he doesn't settle in a scramble, and Gaethje's the kind of guy who's not the most offensive grappler. Like even when he gets in a grappling exchange, his goal is to get to his feet because he wants to put that kind of pressure on, you know?
Yeah, I just feel it too. Like, and I mean, I don't know how it's gonna play out against the fence and stuff like that, because that's another spot Tony can be dangerous.
And I can't really recall if Gaethje's been like majorly cut up in fights before prior to this or anything like that. I can't really like it. Nothing comes to my head about that. But you know, obviously that's a big weapon of Tony Ferguson.
Ferguson got like he was getting smashed by Pettis.
Yeah, and then he came back.
He came back, and I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, to be honest, like, I'm going to say something a little bit bold here, but I looked at, everyone's talking about Ferguson's 13-win streak.
Yeah.
If you look at his opponents,
a lot of them were, like, other than, okay, I'll give him Kevin Lee, RDA.
Yeah. Even RDA is a little bit, like, he's not, like, a top 5 guy anymore.
No, not anymore. Definitely not anymore. But at the time, I think it was prior to his run for the belt. And then you have his win over
like Cerrone and Pettis, like, to me, don't.
They're kind of on their way out, you know.
I mean,
Kevin Lee was on.
I feel like a loser, like talking shit about UFC fighters that are great.
No, but we got as people and fans of the sport, we have to be honest and why we think certain fighters are gonna like. We have to back up our predictions of why, you know.
100%.
And Gaethje's only fought top guys being in the UFC, but also that's another guy whose win streak hasn't been super impressive. He's beaten the same guys that Ferguson's beaten too, right?
That's true,
you know what I mean? Barboza, he's on the Barboza. Other than James Vick, he's on Barboza and Cerrone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting fight. For me, it's just a style matchup. That's my main prediction about this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can just kind of do some closing thoughts on this, but we did a poll too, and we both of our polls 60-40 in favor of Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, so it's like decently close on the polls, but I truly believe that's more of like a dislike for Tony Ferguson rather than knowledgeable fans voting.
You know what? Deep down, I feel like he's gonna pull it off.
Yeah,
just because he's like
he does somehow. You know,
yeah,
like I said, like it's hard to count a guy out who's been down in almost every single fight he's been in, but somehow finds a way. You know, so yeah, that's the main event for tomorrow night.
So that's our prediction. We both have an upset. Justin
Gaethje, yeah.
Yeah, and what round do you think?
I'm thinking it'll be probably the first round. First round if it does happen, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying first or second. Second rounds usually is when the tide starts turning in Tony's favor. So
yeah.
If it doesn't happen in the first 2 rounds, then I'm dead wrong.
All right, next we have the co-main event and possibly even a bigger matchup in general.
Bro, this is crazy.
It's crazy because you got a guy who is easily, in my opinion, the 135 greatest of all time. Undoubtedly.
Mm-hmm.
He's only lost 1 title fight in his whole career, if I'm not mistaken, to Cody Garbrandt, you know, and he came back off a 3-year layoff prior. His last layoff was 3 years when he came back and beat Dillashaw, who was considered the one of the 135 greats at 1.2, and now he's coming almost a 4-year layoff to fight guy who's been just tearing it up, Henry Cejudo.
So before I saw the weigh-ins, I was like, Henry Cejudo 100%, and then I saw the height difference.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously, like I know that, you know, Henry Cejudo's a shorter fighter, that not taking anything away from him, but I'm just wondering if that awkward style is gonna be a factor in the fight. You know how like Cruz has that, like Cody was able to stabilize that in that fight, right? Like that was crazy. Cody was doing it better than he was. You know, but with Henry Cejudo, like I don't know. I still have Henry Cejudo winning this fight though.
See, I have an upset. I have 2 upsets. Yeah, I have a Cruz winning this fight, just mainly based on the fact that I feel like anytime Henry's fought a mobile opponent, somebody who's been super light on their feet. So, for example, like when he fought Moraes in the first round, he was getting that possibly could have been a 10-8 round in favor of Moraes, for the fact that anytime Moraes punched him, he was nowhere to be found afterwards. Henry was just hitting air. Same when he fought Joe Benavidez the first time when they fought.
Yeah, you're bringing up a good point.
It was a close fight, but Joe B definitely won just based on the elusiveness and being able to move more. And for me, it's like, who's better at that than Dominic Cruz? But then you bring up the layoff, and that's what kind of I feel like is swaying a lot of people's opinion more towards Henry.
Well, Henry Cejudo has a shoulder injury. 1, 2. I don't know what Cruz's takedown defense is like. Really.
Oh, it's honestly it's one of the best.
Oh, okay.
If you go back and look,
that's a problem.
He's been taken down. I think maybe by Garbrandt was the only time he's been taken down quite a bit. But let's look at Cruz's resume versus Cejudo. So we got Dominic Cruz beat Mighty Mouse twice, easily. You know what I mean? He beat Mighty Mouse twice easily. That's Dominic Cruz. Okay, and he's also beat.
But how many years ago was that too?
Yeah, but that was still for the 135 belt. It was just prior to Demetrius making his 125 run. You know, and. Then he undoubtedly beat Joe Benavidez twice. You know what I mean? Someone that Henry lost to. I know that's MMA math I'm using here, but I'm just saying that people have forgotten about Dominic Cruz because he's been away for so long. But you got to look at the guys that he's beaten at such a high level and how easy he made it look. You know, the only time he's really had trouble in any fights has been against Garbrandt.
Yeah. And that was
think about it. That's the only guy.
Because Garbrandt beat him at his own game too.
Yeah,
that's what was so impressive.
And I feel like it was more of a mental warfare, and Garbrandt somehow won that.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? You bring up a good point, man. But I'm still gonna go with the.
Oh, for sure. I feel like for someone, I don't think there's anyone more on top of their game right now and chasing like the greatest of all time status than Henry Cejudo.
Yeah.
If he beats Dominic Cruz, he's easily the best pound for pound fighter in the world, and possibly one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Just based on who he's beaten. He's beaten Demetrius Johnson, one of the he tied the record for most title defenses. He would beat Dominic Cruz, the 135 GOAT, beat TJ Dillashaw. He's fighting no slouches, beat Marlon Moraes, a killer, a guy who's on just a kill streak. Okay? So I just feel like if Henry wins this fight, he solidifies himself easily as one of the top 3 greatest of all time. I feel like if Dominic Cruz wins, he solidifies easily himself as the greatest 135er of all time. Especially, you come back off a 3-year layoff and you win the belt. Then you come back off a 4-year layoff and win the belt. If he is able to pull it off, you know, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I think like if it was one 3-year layoff, you know what I mean? Like but the fact that he's had so many layoffs, like. I'm a little bit skeptical, but you're right, man. I mean, if you look at the resumes and Cruz, we do tend to forget about Cruz.
Yeah.
I forget about Cruz.
Of course, he's been away for so long.
Yeah, I remember his last maybe 5 fights, right, in my head. But other than that, before that, it's kind of a blur. So.
And of course, he is coming off a loss, technically, based on his last fight was a loss. But I don't know. I just see Cruz just based on, this is another thing for me, it's just styles. Like, I'm a big when it comes to fights, like I feel like styles make fights more than anything, you know. And then, I'm more excited for this fight than the main event tomorrow, easily, hands down.
So you're thinking Henry Cejudo's going to be punching air?
I think Cejudo's going to get frustrated, and if Cruz has come in shape and he knew about this fight and he was able to prepare for it and able to get his fitness up, I believe that Cruz is going to peep out the decision win for sure. Because I don't see Henry weighing him down. Cejudo's been known to use the clinch a lot lately. As in, like, the tie clinch, that's going to be a lot harder against a taller opponent.
Yep.
So we'll see. You know, it's hard to count out an athlete at Henry Cejudo's level, but I just think Cruz is going to pull it off.
So if you're a betting man, you might make some money tomorrow.
Oh, I'm in a pool. I'm in a pool right now for some bets, so I'm pretty excited. I picked three upsets right here.
Don't even
the
tell
next
me.
one.
Don't you really?
Yeah, the next
Come
one too.
on.
And I'll tell you my reasoning for that.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the next fight, which is
Ngannou
two scary bad men.
Yeah.
Two scary guys.
Rosenstruck's undefeated, I believe, and then we got Ngannou, who's only losses to Stipe, right? I believe so.
Yeah.
And then they're both on killer streaks right now. Both have some similar opponents. And here's my reasoning for going for Rosenstruck, okay? Because I feel like last time Ngannou fought somebody who had scary power, which was Derek Lewis, he was very tentative in the fight. He was scared to engage, okay? And I feel like the person who's shown a lot more 3-round fights and a lot more durability, a lot more cardio in this matchup has been Rosenstruck. So I believe that experience in the later rounds. What round did he finish Alistair in?
Was
Was it a 5th round fight?
The 5th round.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He has gas all the way until that 5th round.
Was that a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight?
I'll look it up right now.
I feel like it was it was in the last round. I think you're right, man. I think there was like a minute left in the fight. I know it was that close. See, okay, so here's my reasoning, and yours is a little bit more thought out, I think, but I'm just thinking.
Yeah, it was last 4 seconds of the 5th round.
Wow.
That he finished that fight. So that's someone who has power and gas.
But he was losing that whole fight.
He was losing that fight, but isn't Ngannou technically as good as Overeem? No. Technically wise, he's not as good.
No, you're right. But
does he carry as much cardio as Overeem? No, because we've seen Overeem in longer
I feel
fights.
like even when Derek Lewis beat what's that tall European fighter? Volkov.
Yeah.
Even when he beat him, like I know like it's technically a win, but when I look at those fights and I kind of do an analysis, I feel like
who is the better fighter?
Exactly.
Overall,
like, there was obviously a mistake in both those fights. So I don't know, man. I think Ngannou's like, when's the last time Ngannou fought? He fought. What's his name?
Curtis Blades, I believe, was his last win.
And Curtis Blades is a beast.
Yeah, and he finished him.
He's a
quick.
Beast. Yeah.
Like Ngannou's on a 4 knockout streak, something like that. All really quick too. Kane. Was it? I think he beat Junior in his.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think the cardio is going to play an advantage for Rosenstruck. I think that's going to be the difference in this fight.
Ngannou first round knockout. You heard it here first.
Ngannou first round knockout. I have Rosenstruck late, like a late round knockout, like end of the 3rd knockout.
Last minute.
Not last minute, but I think he'll catch him because I don't know, like someone like Rosenstruck, you know what I mean? When you show the ability to push in the last 5 seconds of a fight, last 20 seconds of a fight, when he rocked Overeem and finished the fight, that shows a will to win that many people don't have. That's someone who wants to win, wants to chase that victory no matter the cost.
But I feel like what's his name, Alistair Overeem too, is not really like all that there. He's not really there. Like he's not as his fight IQ. I feel like he does like a lot right, and then he like makes these huge mistakes.
Yeah. And he's never been one for having a super great chin or anything like that. Even being knocked out at 205.
This is an exciting fight.
Yeah,
that's a scary...
This card is stacked from top to bottom. So you got Ngannou, I got Rosenstruck for that one.
And so we're at odds this time.
Yeah,
we're usually
on
the same page.
Next one. Okay. I got Kelvin Kattar.
Same.
For so Jeremy Stevens missed weight by 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Today. I'm not one to talk shit about that, especially in the conditions they have training right now. It is hard, but it's interesting because if I'm correct, I think Jeremy Stevens and Dominic Cruz, they both train at Alliance still in San Diego. So that's also a bonus too, though, because there's guys working together in the same camp. You know what I mean? 2 guys training for a fight. The camp comes together and really makes things work. But I have Kattar either by a finish or like I have Kattar by a finish or a decision, but a finish wouldn't be till later on. I wasn't really too impressed with Jeremy Stevens' fight against Yair Rodriguez, to be honest. I was disappointed by that, man, because I thought Stevens didn't at any point. I don't feel like Stevens really went for the win. I don't feel like at any point he went for the kill.
He talks so much, like he talks even this fight, last fight, like he talks, and you get excited about it. Right? Like I don't even like the guy really, but. I like the
because he is vicious. He has that.
He has it, but I just don't think it's there anymore, right? Like I think he's
man.
It's like those when people get a little bit older and they try to do the same things and they can't. Like I just feel like he wants to do stuff and but
and I feel like Kattar
his boxing's way better, bro.
Who Kattar?
Yeah.
Oh my favorite fight of Kattar's was when he fought Shane Burgos, and it was honestly one of the coolest combos I've ever seen. He caught Burgos like slipping forward on his foot. And just perfect step back uppercut, hit him again, uppercut, and the fight was over. And Shane Burgos is a guy I don't believe has lost since he lost to Kattar, and he's on the uprise too. So, and Kattar's last fight, which was a loss to Zabit, I felt in a 5-round fight he was taking that win.
Yeah, I mean I heard Zabit had staph infection, too.
Yeah, I don't know the inside details
Yeah.
of anything, but I just know Zabit had.
I'm biased, bro.
He had a good amount of time to train for that fight, and he requested a 3-round fight, which is sketchy to me. But I feel like Qatar easily dominated the last round of that fight. The first round was easily Zabit. Second round was a little bit closer, but Zabit took it. But the third round was domination on Qatar's
I can't
end.
argue that. I can't argue that.
That even in a loss, he was impressive to me. You know, he never showed signs of slowing down. I feel like in a 5-round fight, he likely would have took it. You know,
I like the guy too.
Yeah,
like, he's just a likable character. He's super tough. He's not.
He's humble. He doesn't talk a lot of shit. You know.
Yeah, he's and just those combos, bro. Like his boxing is so sharp.
Yeah.
So
and everything, his whole all-around game is just amazing in MMA, and he has a lot of fights. He had a lot of fights before getting even in the UFC, over 20 MMA fights, and an awesome record.
Do you
too.
see anybody else in featherweight really like? We still have Max Holloway. Volkanovski's a beast.
Volkanovski, yep.
He's gonna have a hard time. Like people are saying, you know, he has championship potential, but I think
who Qatar? Yeah, definitely. I feel like at some point he could pull it off. I'm excited to see Zabit how he does in a 5-round fight, because he hasn't had one single 5-round fight in the UFC at this point. So
he could get a title shot too.
Yeah.
Like he's up there.
He's
right?
there. He's there for a title shot. We got Rodriguez again.
Him and Rodriguez would be a good fight too, because they got similar styles. I think Rodriguez has way better cardio.
And you got Ortega versus I think Ortega's supposed to fight Korean Zombie, right?
Yeah, they got into it. He fought. Yeah. He punched that.
His manager or something.
No,
or
it's
his
like one of his friends.
or something.
Yeah, it's like one of his friends. Some guy.
Yeah.
Jay Park or Jay Wood or something.
So it's the featherweight division's in a limbo right now, just with the everything. Volkanovski had that infection and all that.
So we agree.
Yeah, I agree. Qatar's gonna win. Next one, I'm calling the upset on this one.
Wow.
I think Jorgen De Castro is gonna win by by a decision.
Okay, well, then we're on the same.
Yeah, page. That's an upset according to the odds. Actually, Jorgen De Castro was visiting Vegas when I was there last time, and I just feel like he has super slick boxing for a heavyweight of his size, and he's deceivingly fast and powerful for someone his size. I just feel like he won't give into the athleticism of Hardy in this fight.
Yeah. Greg Hardy. I mean, he looked pretty impressive his last fight, right?
Against Volkov. Like, I don't feel like he looked good, but he did just enough not to get finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also feel like Volkov, with the pressure of fighting Hardy, held off. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to get finished by a guy who's just started MMA a year and a half ago, when you've been a guy with 30-something fights in Volkov, you know? That would be tough to overcome, you know what I mean, if you lost to someone like that. And it's possible at heavyweight with power, you know?
I think this is going to be a defining fight for Greg Hardy, because if he loses, then he's just going to be another garbage heavyweight, you know?
And I don't know, man. I feel like there's such a favoritism towards Greg Hardy, because I feel like 100%. He lost that fight. I feel like he fought a guy named Justin Tafa, like a Somalian guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
Samoan.
Samoan, sorry, that's what I meant. But I just feel like the other guy did so much more in the fight to win, and they gave it 3 rounds to none for Hardy. So I was just like,
this guy's on the main event.
Yeah, main card of this.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he's doing main events. He did the main event.
You're right.
Volkov, right?
Volkov too. Yeah.
So it's crazy, man, and it's we obviously all know Greg Hardy's background, where he comes from, and his drama outside. The reason he's not making millions in the NFL right now. So he's just not a likable guy to begin with. He's super cringy. I don't like him at all.
Yeah,
and I think his fight skills are garbage. He's winning on pure athleticism, and there's no division that people do that more in than the heavier weight classes, you know?
I agree with you on that one, man. So, okay, just again, like this is a main card. We both got Gaethje. I got Cejudo, you got Cruz.
I got Cruz.
I got Ngannou, you got Rozenstruik. We both got Qatar, we both got De Castro.
Okay, yeah. So we got 3 picks the same, 2 picks different. So
we're gonna make a friendly wager. The prelims. So.
Oh yeah, we got to go through the prelims. Just based this whole card stacked top to bottom.
Unreal. Like this.
It's amazing. So we got another 3 fights. 4 fights.
Yeah.
So the first fight is a rematch between Anthony Pettis and Donald Cerrone. 2 vets.
I don't care about this fight.
The odds here have Pettis as a favorite.
Yeah, that's
which is
I mean,
interesting.
I think Pettis gets it done, but
I think at welterweight,
unless it gets like unless he has to have heart.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then he's gonna like he doesn't have that he doesn't go to those dark places.
Yeah, not
to
anymore
win
at
a
least.
fight. Yeah,
Definitely not. Like, yeah, it's hard to knock him when he has fights against like Ben Henderson the first fight when he was pulling it out in the 5th round to he was fighting like a dog. But careers change, goals change. But I feel like at welterweight, Cerrone's a little bit more durable, and I feel like he's gonna be able to pull it off against Pettis.
I honestly, man, I feel like both fighters may need to retire after this fight.
It's just like there's not much left for either fighter in any
man,
division.
I'm talking a little bit of shit, but like honestly, both of these guys are, like, it's almost
they've
like
both been to the pinnacles of their careers,
man.
and they're likely not going to reach.
And
any
they've
higher.
both been on their way down.
Yeah.
Right, and like CT's no joke, and Cerrone's been taking a few beatings.
Yeah. And it's actually interesting that Cerrone finally came out and said that when he fought McGregor, he didn't want to be in there. He came out and said that, and of course you could tell, man. There was no like look in his eye where it was like, okay, I'm coming to fight.
I feel like he just, I don't know.
But he's done that before, and he said that in the past as well, like when he fought Leon Edwards, for example. But I don't want to dwell too much on these fights because I don't feel like it's like a turning point for either fighter.
I mean, I don't really care who wins, to be honest, so I haven't really given it much thought, but I'll go Pettis.
So I got Cerrone, he's got Pettis.
Yeah.
The next fight we got Alexei Olenek and Fabricio Verdum. So, two guys that have been fighting for a long, long time. Over 50 fights, Olenek and Verdum, I believe, over 40 fights.
Yeah, I feel like Verdum is more well-rounded. It's been a while since Verdum fought.
Yeah.
He got popped, right?
I don't know 100%. I don't follow heavyweights.
I heard. You know what? I shouldn't say that because but I heard.
We haven't seen him in a long time. I know that, but he's a heavy favorite in this fight.
Oh, I actually love his fighting style, bro. Because he's so good on the ground, and he's good on his feet too.
Yeah, Olenek's interesting because he's supposed to be a submission artist, but Verdum's next level when it comes to the grappling game, and especially for heavyweights. He won the belt with a guillotine choke. He beat the legendary Fedor with a triangle choke. You just don't see submissions like that from heavyweights often.
Yeah, and Cain Velasquez in Mexico City.
He won the belt there.
That was crazy, man. And what's that one Army guy you fought too? Tim Kennedy?
No, not Tim Kennedy. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know Verdum's career too much. He beat who else? Oh, I believe I think he beat Overeem too. I gotta look his record up, see when the last time he even fought was, but he's a minus 320
I don't think
versus a plus 250.
Like, I like Alexei Olenek, but I don't think he has a chance in this fight.
If you're I should say your grappling is supposed to be your strong point, Verdum's not the guy to really pull that off against.
Too, man.
So actually, his last fight was a loss against Volkov, Verdum, and that was in
Let me see
2018. It was a knockout loss to Volkov.
Oh yeah, he did. I'm thinking.
And he
Travis Brown. Or not? Well, he's got a pretty amazing track record, right?
Yeah.
He's got some big names.
After he lost the title, he had a little bit of an up and down career, but that's usually what you see.
He almost fought Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, he almost got ankle picked by Tony Ferguson. He got lucky. His career was almost over then. But I have Verdum winning.
Yeah, not even.
No debate there. We got Carla Esparza versus Michelle Waterson, an interesting fight. We have I don't think Michelle Waterson ever challenged for the title, but we have the former champion with Carla Esparza. I have Michelle Waterson winning the fight. She's actually the underdog in this fight. I just think that Carla Esparza really hasn't shown anything special since she's even lost her belt. I don't feel like she's shown the same level or fought or had the same close fights that Michelle Waterson has had with the top level fighters. So I definitely have Michelle Waterson taking this win by decision.
Yeah, I would say Waterson just because she's looked more promising, but
in recent fights.
Yeah, in recent fights. But I also don't know if she has Man, why am I so negative and talking shit? I just don't think I don't think either of them will ever be the champion again.
Oh, never, never.
I don't think they're gonna.
I'm sorry, but like when you see the level of MMA between the Chinese champion, I forget her name, Zhang Weili, and then you have Joanna. So it's like those two have the skill of women's MMA that you haven't even seen
on
yet.
Josh, like I feel like she would.
Yeah.
She would
easily.
Beat, so I just don't know if anybody's making it. I really like Michelle Waterson though. Like even as like I follow some of these people on Instagram. She seems like a very nice
person.
Very likable person.
All right, so we both got Michelle Waterson on that one.
Yeah.
All right, and last fight we got here to finish the stat card, we got Ronaldo Souza versus Uriah Hall.
Uriah Hall by knockout.
You think Uriah Hall by knockout? I think Ronaldo Souza by submission.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's what I'm calling a submission for Souza, just because I feel like Souza's been Uriah Hall has been on a win streak, I believe. Yeah, but they've all been close decisions though. But Souza, his last fight was a win against knockout against Weidman, or was it a loss against Hermanson?
It was a loss, I thought, against Hermanson. I want to say he lost his last fight.
I'll check it out right now.
Not known for my memory.
Yeah, these guys, they both have crazy fights. Oh, it was a loss against Blachowicz, and it was a main event.
Oh, Blachowicz, yeah.
It was a 5-round fight. Yeah. It was a split decision.
What the hell? I don't actually.
That's out 205. I think Blachowicz. That was at light heavyweight.
Wow.
So we got what weight is this fight at? This is at 185. Yeah,
it's gotta be 185.
So I have Souza winning by submission for this one. You have Uriah Hall by knockout.
I think I honestly think Uriah Hall is gonna. Why did I think Souza got knocked? Did he get knocked out in his last couple fights?
No, he hasn't been knocked out. I don't even think he's been knocked out in the UFC yet.
All right.
Oh, Whitaker was the only person to knock him out.
Whitaker, okay.
It's because you've probably seen Whitaker highlights recently because he's
probably,
fought.
Yeah, so. No, I remember seeing it. I thought I saw him get stopped.
And Uriah Hall is coming on two win streak, a split decision and a knockout over Bevon Lewis, who I'm not really sure anything about. But so that's our takes for this. Are we gonna go over?
I think you know what. It's been a while since we've.
So we got 3 more fights in the early prelims. We got Vicente Luque versus Nico Price. I just think Vicente Luque's fought the higher caliber competition. I feel like he's a super clean striker, something that Nico Price really isn't. Nico Price is more of a wild card, a wild striker.
He reminds me of like a Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, almost. Like he pulls off some weird wins. Like it's pretty crazy. Like when he was the one who knocked out the guy when he was in a triangle. Yeah, it's just crazy. Some of the wins he's been able to pull off, and
I got Vincent.
Yeah, you got Vicente Luque though.
Vicente Luque,
Same.
Sure,
me as well. Especially his most recent loss was to Wonder Boy, and it was like that was a good fight. It was an awesome fight to watch, man. I feel like he got pretty much dominated that fight, but it was a great fight to watch.
He didn't play cautious like Tyron Woodley.
No. He went after it. He went after it, and that a lot of times when you go after it, especially in striking exchanges against Thompson, that's when he catches you because he uses the angles and he uses his really unorthodox style. So you got Vicente?
Yeah.
I got Vicente as well.
Bryce Mitchell versus Charles Rosa. I got Bryce Mitchell.
I got Bryce Mitchell by submission. I think he's just fought the better guys, and he's shown a lot more talent in the UFC so far. He's a very awkward body type for featherweight. He's 5'11", and he's a grappler. So you don't really see too many tall grapplers in that division. If anyone,
he was the one that had that crazy twist. Was that him?
I think it was a calf slicer or something like that. Yeah. So he's known for his grappling and his submissions, and apparently recently
who was the guy that did the it was like a twist to the whole guy's body. It was like submission of the year, I think.
Twister?
A Twister?
I'm not sure, honestly. I know Korean Zombies pulled it off in the past.
It wasn't him. It was like I think it was Bryce Mitchell.
But Bryce Mitchell's actually undefeated. He lost in the Ultimate Fighter House, but he's 12-0. And I think he's young as well. He's only 25, so that's a future of the featherweight division, in my opinion. He's showing some promise. And he did win by a twister in his last fight.
Yeah,
You're
see,
right.
that submission was crazy.
So he's shown a lot of submission skills in his MMA career. Charles Rosa, on the other hand, I feel like he's had some up and down UFC career. He's lost to Dennis Seaver, Yair Rodriguez, and Shane Burgos. So he's lost to some great fighters. But I just feel like it's like a little bit different levels as far as like Charles, like especially I just feel like having fought people that size, especially at 145, I feel like those body types are the hardest to fight with, especially when you got such a weird grappling style in Bryce Mitchell.
I thought this would be he'd be a bigger favorite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bryce Mitchell.
I think maybe just because of how long he's been in the UFC, Charles Rosa, and the caliber of people he's fought.
True.
So I got Mitchell. You got Mitchell.
I got Mitchell, yeah. No,
the last fight, I don't know anything about Ryan Spann.
I don't, but I just feel like Sam Alvey's.
Really? This is
no,
crazy.
I feel like he's gonna lose.
You think Sam Alvey's gonna lose?
Yeah,
this is at light heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up Ryan Spann's record. I haven't ever even looked him up ever. I think that the odds are crazy. I actually put on my my card. I put I'm in a betting pool and I put Alvey to win. So I'm pretty pissed because I didn't realize the odds of this fight or even care to look up Ryan Spann. But I think this guy was on. He was on a Contender Series. Man, he's on a 2-finish streak against some pretty good guys. He beat Little Nog. Man.
With knockouts?
He knocked out Little Nog,
yeah.
and then he choked out Devin Clark. And he was on a great.
I just remember that. I remember his that terrible tattoo. I'm just kidding.
Oh, the Superman on his chest. Yeah, that's definitely regrets on that one for sure. Damn, Alvey's got 46
worst
fights.
Worst tattoos of
this fight card.
Yeah.
That one for sure.
What about Cerrone versus Pettis? Worst tattoos.
Worst tattoos? Ooh. I don't even know. Cerrone, he's got that tribal shit on his back, so his are more memorial tattoos, so I can't hate on those.
Yeah,
for Pettis, you know. But you got Cerrone, who's got a tribal shit on his back, which is pretty whack if you ask me. So, and then the main event, I don't even know. I don't even know any tattoos. Oh, Dominic Cruz got some tribal shit on his body too, so that's some whack shit. And then you got Greg Hardy got tribal across his chest. Greg Hardy wins for worst tattoos on the card by far. easily. Who has tribal across their chest like that with nothing, you know? So Greg Hardy takes another L in his life and with that tattoo on his chest.
This is what happens when we don't have a podcast in so long.
And Sam Alvey is on a 3-loss streak. And one of those being a knockout to Lil Nog. Holy shit, I gotta see if I can retract my card and repost it tomorrow. That's fucked up.
Every fight I've seen that guy, Sam Alvey, I feel like he loses and he's like super disappointed in himself.
Man,
so,
I
just don't see him having the confidence even.
Damn, at one point he was on a 4-fight win streak against some decent guys. That's crazy.
I feel like Sam Alvey's been around forever.
Yeah, he has been. He was on one of the Ultimate Fighters. I can't remember.
He's not Canadian, is he?
No. He's fought in Canada before because he was on this Fight Exchange show that I was on, but he was on season 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was interesting. But
what's up with you? Let's talk about.
There's not a whole lot going on personally for me. You know, I can't really do much. You know, I'm doing some house calls for haircuts during the quarantine because some people need to keep fresh. But hey,
at a distance, he has 6 foot.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I got poles like this and cutting hair, but hey, man, I wear a mask and gloves, so don't hate. That and I've been able to get some training in. You know, it's good to focus on yourself during this time and really get some personal work done as far as like, you know, trying to get my weight in check for when this is all finally over. Mm-hmm. I can just jump into a fight or jump into like maybe just a short 3-4 week camp to get things correct and then fight. But though it's obviously hard to keep super motivated during this time because we're really never certain when this is going to end. It's looking more and more, especially here in us for Canada, is like we have some of our provinces starting to open up. Unfortunately, in Ontario, we've had it the worst, I believe. Us in Quebec have had it the worst. So the times that we're reopening aren't certain yet. Hopefully by the end of the summer, you know, because I'd like to go sit on a patio and enjoy my summer a little bit, or get back in the gym and train full time. But if I could fight before like the fall, you know, it'd be really awesome for me, because I feel like I have not progressed more in my career in, say, 5-6 years than I have during this quarantine. Especially for me, I feel like my grappling's exponentially got better during this quarantine, working with some of my training partners and stuff. And just being able to finally focus on my skills rather than training for a certain opponent or a certain fight. It's scary to see that, because, you know, I feel like grappling's my strong suit, and I feel like it's a part of my game that not a lot of people are at the same level as me, especially in my weight class. So I'm excited for that to show that in my next fight.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to your next fight too. I know you know, there's some interesting things going on, you know, that possibilities. So hopefully,
100%.
hopefully, you know,
COVID, man, really, like, it screwed a lot of things up for a lot of people,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. Your brother's fight was just before that, right?
It was like a week or two before shutdown. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's probably in the same boat then, I guess. Everyone's just on hold.
Yeah, everyone's just on hold. Really, don't really know. There's no really chance of me getting on any of the current UFC cards right now. It's just based on the fact that they're only being held in the States.
Yeah.
And you'd need a visa for that, which I don't even know. They're probably not even processing shit like that at the moment.
If you call Uncle Dana, he'll call his buddy Donald. And
if I have some ins like that, you know, maybe I'll make some calls.
I think with this whole Fight Island concept too, they actually might be able to get some international fighters.
Yeah, I think that's what they were planning on doing, but you never know. The fact that they're just rattling off fights in Florida with no hassle at this point, you know, I feel like they're probably just going to keep doing that. It's a lot cheaper and easier for everybody.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're going to want to get the roster moving, and they're going to want to get some international fighters. So who knows? Maybe I'll be fighting on an island.
That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'd be ready.
That'd be awesome. So, thanks for tuning in. Do we have anything else to talk about, actually? Is there any other news?
You've been playing a lot of Warzone, right?
Yeah, I've been playing Warzone, man.
Same here. So, if you guys want to add us on Warzone,
we'll put our Warzone,
Activision accounts numbers. We'll put them in the description. So yeah, tune in.
Got a W today, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah. There we go. Yeah, if you want to catch dubs and watch our opinion on MMA, just don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And yeah, maybe we'll see you on Warzone, or we'll see you at the next video.
Thanks for joining, guys. Take care.